Well, about an hour until boarding, so I'll give this 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I just want to come on. I noticed that they're trying to, the bid on Railtown is 48. The ask is 50.503. It opened at 50 cents. It was as high as 53 cents. And we're now, the volume is 88,000 shares. But they have this one trade they hit the bid for 2,271 shares. They just had to get out of, just had to sell. That is, number one, I think it's communicating. Number two, I think it's collusion. And it's not real selling. So don't be as scared by any of this. Just hang on. We might only have until the rest of this week. Then again, it might be through next week. And I guess technically even that might be optimistic, but I think in either this week or next. I'm at the airport and I don't know, it's 9 o'clock. Excuse me. It's 9 o'clock and maybe California is just a more laid back place, but usually in DC the airports are packed by 9 o'clock. So this is not crowded. So maybe people are still on vacation. That's my point. Let me just look at a couple of the other stocks. Let me just see if Railtown had another trade. No, it didn't. So the whole darn thing, well, there was 500 shares at 49.27, and then 2,271 shares at 48.81. So less than 3,000 shares has gotten the price of Railtown below 50 cents. Incredible. Mountain is down 10 cents at $12. Quantum is down 2 cents at 16.83. Energy Vault, she can't seem to get this table clean. Now she's coming to sit in it. Let's see. Energy Vault is down 3.5 cents. That is not my vault. At 198.5, and Nvidia is down quite a bit. It's down almost $7. But I would guess that maybe not right away, but I would guess that Nvidia is going to make new highs soon enough. And let me see what else is there to talk about. This SoundHound, by the way, which is trading for $12.50, that's something just to bear in mind. SoundHound has a market cap of $5.3 billion. See that plane? And then it'll disappear because it's raining. It's going to rain in Southern California. But SoundHound is in the range of the revenue that Railtown might get to. But I don't think SoundHound makes money. And I think Railtown will be highly profitable right out of the gate. So that's one to pay attention to. I don't know why. Maybe it's my hotel room or just not sleeping. ZJYL is down 5 cents at 65 cents. Um, of course, Northwest Bio, they have it down 2 cents, 28 cents. It's a lot like GME. If you ignore the decimals, they run it up and then they bring it back down. They need something to steal. That's why they run these things up. Finger motion is down 3.5 cents at 147.51. And G-Bucks is up 2 cents at 68 cents. Anyway, the only stock that you should be in my judgment, uh, right now is for the speculative, for the junk, for the high risk money is Railtown. It's 48.01 to 0.503, and volume hasn't changed at all. Hey, hey, Tebow Keels. Hey, Tim Casey. Good afternoon. Yeah, I guess. Although it's 9 a.m. here. 9 a.m. here. Red Pepper Ronnie. Um, I'm not very comfortable. Account settings. How is my mother now? Well, she's at peace. They work hard here at cleaning this exact spot right here. Um, yeah, she passed away last night at, you know, in the evening. So, uh, uh, yeah, but she's at peace. Let's, I'll talk about that later. Hey, Marty, um, YouTube user, Jim, sold my Soundhound. Good, to buy Railtown. That's good. Jeff Grimm has a grim sense of humor with a capital G and 2 M's. The first 4 days after the weekend are the hardest. And the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know. When it comes to loving her, she was I can't remember the words. I just want you by my side. I'll drive with you. All right. Thank you, Darren. Thank you very much. She had a long life and she's at peace. And like Clint says, we've all got it coming. We've all got it coming, kid. Which is kind of scary. See that? And then it goes into the rain cloud. See, it's not always sunny in Southern California. See right here? Disappears. Thank you, Mark, very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I think she's resting in peace. Nothing happened. There were no fireworks, no thunder, no earthquakes. So I just saw this in the Financial Times today. There's an option fight by Citadel for a new Wall Street order. And this is on page 16 of the Financial Times today. When two of Wall Street's fiercest fighters lock horns, it's worth watching. Investors Exchange, IEX, the scrappy trading platform whose creation was chronicled by Michael Lewis in his 2014 book Flash Boys, it's a good book, is facing off with billionaire Ken Griffin's Citadel Securities in a skirmish that both sides reckon could reshape U.S. markets. I hope it makes them more honest. IEX has applied to the Securities and Exchange Commission to add options to its existing stock exchange. No surprise here. Option trading is booming in the United States, with volumes having tripled since 2019. About 61 million contracts, option contracts, and you think you're going to win? About 61 million contracts now change hands daily, according to Bloomberg Intelligence. And interest has been supercharged by the popularity of super short-term, quote-unquote, zero-day products used to navigate daily market shifts. I don't know what these zero-day are. I guess they're talking about settlement? I don't know what that is. To stand out from the existing 18 platforms, all cheap, IEX is offering a system that could automatically delay, cancel, or reprice quotes from market makers if its software detects that the best price is about to change from that quote. That feature could ease fear. It's all computerized. I don't know why they call them market makers. It's all by computer. That feature could ease fears that the very fastest traders would spot the change first and profit from taking the market makers' now stale quote. The plans have sparked a flurry of comment letters to the SEC, including 3 involving Citadel. More cleaning here. A lot of activity. Broadly speaking, companies, I guess Citadel's objections center, spelled R-E instead of E-R, center on the fact that under rules designed to ensure that investors get the best price possible before they're slowly roasted on the spit and carved up by Wall Street, they get the best price available. All market makers will have to route trades to IEX when its price looks the best, even if they believe it's soft. That was clear, wasn't it? Even if they believe its software may cancel or tweak the trade before it can be completed. Some traders, on the other hand, support IEX's plan, including Citadel rival Virtue and CTC. Most focus on the goal of leveling the playing field because the SEC isn't going to do it, and reducing latency arbitrage. Options markets are more complex than equities. Really? Not really. Not really. Buying and selling. I guess the formulae might be somewhat more complicated. It's the same cheating. A listed stock might just have one kind of stock, but hundreds of options with varying prices and expiry dates uh, that need constant monitoring and updating. Yeah, but it's all done by computer. Yeah, it's more cleaning. It's going to be more noise here. more noise. Um, but the debate around IEX's options platform is that essentially she doesn't know that a world-renowned broadcaster is speaking over in the corner. Um, the debate around IEX's options platform is essentially a new riff on an older debate about high-speed share trading and its utility. For groups such as Citadel and its trading allies, which have spent hundreds of millions of dollars building the trading equivalent of a supercar, measures that help rivals catch up must feel like the sudden imposition of a 30-mile-per-hour speeding limit. But markets are a public good, really? That help to spread risk and direct capital, really? That's all theory, theoretically. Such aims are not obviously served by shaving further milliseconds off blink and you've missed it trading times. And why do you need those in over-the-counter stocks, those kind of times? A fight already so tough that big banks are out of the game. But you know the guys that are in the game. Big banks are out, and you guys are encouraged to be in the game. This isn't Citadel's first fight with IEX. It twice previously opposed the exchange's equity plans and lost. Yet, IEX's previous innovations, also targeting latency arbitrage, didn't reshape equity markets as opponents had feared. I'm not sure that's true. If IEX wins, its clients should too, but it doesn't mean Griffin and his allies will necessarily lose. Griffin never loses. Then there's another headline here. Investors do not always have the best interest of a company at heart. All right, I'll leave that alone. Um, hey, Giuseppe, gold is up. Yeah, I think, I don't know, September, October can be very dangerous times if the markets get out of whack. Everybody sells because they want to protect their bonuses. Look, it's a bunch of people who think they're really smart, and they may be or may not be. They just have a cockiness and a language that you don't understand. But most of the times, you guys can beat them. But they're very short term, and they want to make sure the third quarter looks good, and particularly as they end the year, versus um, they want to make sure they're in the top performing funds. And so they just try to copy each other. They try to outperform each other, but they try to copy each other too. And uh, my own view, my theory, which can be wrong, but I think we're going to see maybe after a little bit of a sell off this week or next in the overall markets, maybe. I think there's just going to be a lot of money coming in to the markets by the end of the year. And in that context, I think gold, my target was it 4,000 or 5,000? I have it at home. I think it's 5,000. I think my target on gold is 5,000 in that run up. For silver, I think it'll be 120 in that run up. Then it pulls back, maybe if we have a crash, if we have a crash. Um, and that'll be the last chance to buy precious metals at a reasonable price in your lifetime, if your lifetime is as short as 15 years. If it's longer than that, you might get a better chance. Thank you, Cliff. That's very kind of you. Now, on Railtown, sorry, I'm looking and fascinated at airports. You know, the shopping malls have all closed down around the country, most of them. They just moved them to the airport. It's just like being in a shopping mall. It just costs more to park. All right, it's 4801 to 50.503 on Railtown. No volume. So that last trade where someone sold, she's still cleaning here. There's nobody walking here, but she's still cleaning here. You gotta admire her persistence. They sold 2,271 shares at 48.81, and that's it. So you've got 100 million shares in the trading markets in the float. Probably something like 50 million shares up in Canada, closely held, and maybe another 30 million more recently bought that's relatively closely held by different parties, not only in Canada, but also in the United States. And then you've got our 11 million approximately, and there might be some double counting, but there's probably 85 million shares that aren't available for sale. No one's selling here. They're just trying to scare you. And I really think all we have to do is wait 4 more days. Yes, it could be 9 more days. Yes, it could be 14 more trading days. But I think it's going to be 4, or 5. I think it'll be next week. I think next week, everyone will clearly be back from vacation, and you're going to see good news, I think. Wow, fingers down. No. Sorry, it's down 3 cents, 3.5 cents. I thought it said something else. Um, the market is down $500. The Dow, the Nasdaq's down 371. S&P down 91. Just pauses for the cause, as far as I can tell. All right, no more. It's 9:25. I will go until 9:40 or 9:45. I don't know what else to tell you. I guess I can run through. I don't know if I have notes on what I said a week ago to you. I do, but I'm not sure. I'm tired, and I'm not sure it's all meant for public consumption. So I don't trust myself. But basically, I think Railtown is going to merge with AI Partners. That deal was announced February 11th. Next week will be September 11th. That's 7 months. And I just don't see how they can delay more than 6 or 7 months on announcing something. So I think it's going to be soon. The thing to look for is going to be revenues. Well, first, we got to look for the deal being closed. So that'll lift in many cases, maybe not in all cases, but that'll lift the uh, uh, restriction, the prohibition on buying based on NDAs and knowledge of what could be presumed to be uh, um, material information. So if that lift comes off, you're going to see buying come into the stock. But the other thing to look for, and obviously that's the announcement that I'm hoping for, is they're going to consummate the deal. But the other thing to look for is revenue. And I've read enough things to you and played some of the presentations that perhaps you share my view that the company will have revenue to announce. Now, it may not be a lot, but to go from de minimis to, I'm making it up, 20 million in revenue. I don't know that number. I'm just making it up. And then we can project, or more importantly, the big money's advisors and analysts can project that, let's say they come out and they announce over those last 4 or 5 deals and some sales of conductor, and maybe they get one of the companies rolled up. Maybe they start out with 20 million in revenue or something like that, and then it grows quickly. They can project that it's growing quickly, and maybe they exit this year with annual recurring revenue forecasts of 100 million or so or more. Well, I don't know where SoundHound is going to be at the end of the year, but right now that's where SoundHound is, right around 100 million in revenue, not making any money. And they've got a $5 billion valuation. If we use 150 million shares, that might be too few. On the other hand, it might be too many. That gives you a $33 target for the stock. And I think the market, the smart money, will discount those forward projections. They'll discount them today. They will say we should own the stock today. Will it be $33? I don't know, but it's going to be a lot higher than 50 cents in my judgment, and that's why I don't want you shaken out. Thank you, CJ Yukon. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Colby Cormier. Thank you, Julie Kim. Hey, it happens to everybody. If you live long enough, it's going to happen to everybody. All right, 10 more minutes. I don't know what else to say to you guys. Let's look at the price. I just want you to hang in there. You've been so good this far. I don't think you have much further to I was going to say suffer. That's probably the wrong word. But hey, that's our price we have to pay. The price we've had to pay for exposing ourselves to, a 10x from here, maybe it's 15x from where you bought it, is we had to wait. That's the price. That's the cost. That's the fee to enter. And I think we've almost paid up. So I'm optimistic that I won't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again much longer. But the reason I do it, and the reason I'm giving you much higher numbers that I can't really support until we see revenue, until we see growth, and until we see margins, and until we compare it as we go to comparable companies. The reason I give you bigger numbers, I believe them, but I also really think going for 5 to 10x is a big number. In other words, looking for $5 or $6, maybe in the next month or so, even a $1.50, $2, $2.50. These are big returns. But the reason I show you the much higher ones, I do believe it's coming, and I don't want you shaken out. One of the things that doesn't occur to us is if we sell this stock, we may not be able to buy it back. I mean, right now, the criminals are able just to print shares, basically. They call up their prime broker and or their trading desk. Hey, we're gonna sell stock. Do you own it? Yeah, we own it. Okay, good enough for us. They call up to sell stock. Have you borrowed it? Yeah, we got it. We're gonna just check the letter our attorney sent. Okay, good enough. Uh, you know, are you going to be receiving these shares? Yeah, it's on, but I'm in such a hurry. It's so urgent. I have to dump the shares before I can locate the stock. God, it's so back rearward. It's just terrible. Um, but the problem is, if you sell it now, they'll let you sell as much as you want, but you might not. Let's say you sell 50,000 shares. You may not be. You may only be able to buy back 5,000. And I know the platinum blonde is going to say, "Hey, wait, that doesn't make sense to me. If you sell it, can't you buy it back?" Look, it's about price, and sure, maybe you can buy it back as it goes. You can put orders in all the way up to $20, and you might be able to get it all back. I don't know that it's going to be tight, but the tolerance of the prime brokers to let these day traders sell stock that doesn't exist is what allows you to build your position. That may go away when this becomes a unicorn. That's what I think it could be. Thank you, Jack Hamilton. Thank you, Jack Hamilton. Yeah, she wasn't dramatic in this, so I don't want to be dramatic. I don't want to be dramatic either. Well, Northeast Iowa, they are tough things, but there was a book years ago called Lovely Bones, and the premise of the book was that people, once they go to whatever awaits us, people are very happy to be there, and they don't miss it here at all. Of course, we enjoy being here, so we think we're going to miss it. Yeah, it's hard to believe we're 11 million. We're actually 11.75 approximately. Let me look it up. Yeah, 11.74. 11.74 million. Um, about 8.4% of the Yahoo outstanding. Pretty important position we have. And if we roughly stay together, um, we could have a big seat at the table. We also could just make a lot of money. I mean, I was speaking to somebody the other day. If this stock goes where I think it's going to go, our position could be worth $1 billion. Pretty frightening. We'll see. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But if it's like that much, I hope that we all stick together and we think about a couple of things. One, is that enough? Maybe it's time to shift our strategy to something that generates income and growth. And the second thing is, one of these stories that you're hearing about, these manufactured stories, these ramp stories, these uh, manipulated stories, maybe, when have they ever worked? So, but I tell you, a lot of people are going to come after your uh, big accounts if this works. They're going to come in with the greatest, hey, that was a win for retail. Let's come over to this new stock that sucks. But hey, I got a gravelly voice, and I tell Farron to keep my name out of his mouth. And I'm a smooth operator. I just hope you don't get distracted by that. I'll tell you, I'm trying to build something. I'm not there yet, but I think it'll be big enough that we can all grow together and have income together and be transparent together, basically. Um, I've been thinking about the gentleman who asked me, and right now it's escaping me who that was, um, who asked me about, well, if the market crashes, won't Railtown go down as well? Yeah, but yes, but it won't stay down probably, and it'll readjust to whatever the new multiples are. But in the most severe corrections in the markets, not everything goes down. The stocks that are over I guess overbought. I was reading a theory. I packed the book, so I can't remember the author's name right now. But he had an interesting idea that when you invest in, or you're listening to somebody and you're trying to buy, for example, a stock that our twin talkers present, um, you got to remember different goals. If you're buying a stock for long term, that's a different goal than buying it for a day trade. And both decisions can be rational. This is what the guy was pointing out. Uh, for example, he used the stock price of General Electric, and Jack Welch was a fraud, apparently, a bit of a fraud. But what he pointed out is day traders, the hot money guys, they're they're thinking of stocks differently. So if a stock to a long-term trader seems overvalued, to a short-term trader, eh, that doesn't matter. All they're trying to do, buy the dip, sell the rip. That's all they're trying to do. And so you can do that at, when Nvidia is $170, or you can do it when Nvidia is $70. That's a different decision than, do you buy Nvidia now to hold it for 10 years? It's interesting. In other words, we all have different goals. My personal opinion, which I've expressed with Railtown, I'm going to quit in 4 minutes. My personal opinion with Railtown is uh, it's probably an 18-month old. Um, We got to be ever vigilant as we go. And if there's a short squeeze, which I hope there isn't, we got to pay attention to that too, because everything comes down to price. But I think Railtown will be bought out. That was my original premise last year. I think Railtown will end up being purchased um, at the nice price, and that then you get an uplift in the value of your account without having to pay taxes. And I think that's about 18 months. Could be give or take 6 months. Could be less. Could be more by 6 months. And so there's day traders like these guys have shorted Railtown, and they want you to panic out because they want to make their money on their short-term trade. Stop thinking like they're thinking. Just stop thinking like it. I really believe, uh, if Railtown goes up 10x, it's $600 million. It's nothing. It's nothing in the scheme of things for these AI companies right now. Right now, that can always change. And what's it like to be debt free? I I mean, those are simple things people tell themselves. I don't think it's so important to be debt free. It's just not to have so much debt that your life can blow up. Uh, as long as you hit, and it's what you borrow the money for. If you borrow money because you can get an asset undervalued uh, that should appreciate, well, maybe it makes sense. But you've got to make sure you can cover the costs and keep current. Because once you borrow money, the banks just want the asset. That's all they want. They want the collateral. They want it. Particularly if it's a good asset. Or I have 1 minute to go. But anyway, Northeast Iowa, I think it's more important if you make $1,000 a month, don't spend more than 999 most months. All right, it's still 88,000 shares traded, 47.5 to 50.503, and nothing else is. Well, G-Bucks is green by 2 cents. Everything else seems a little bit weak. Um, oh my God, Besant. We may have to declare a national housing emergency in the fall. That can't be good for houses. Gold breakout goes relentless. You know? Trump is going to unveil the new Space Force headquarters site. All right, it's 9:45, and I guess it's going to Huntsville. I have friends down in Huntsville, Alabama. All right, I'm going to sign off. Peace to everybody, and um, yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm not telling you what you have to do, but I continue to believe with Railtown. Buy all you can, hold all you can, add all you can. and the wait's not much longer. Um, at 10x, you can figure out what your account will be, and that company at 10x will still be closer to half a billion in valuation than 5 billion. And I think your target in your head should be that, and we got to pay attention as it goes, but it should be that Railtown will beat, surpass, be better than Soundhound at some point. It may take a little time, but isn't that worth waiting for? All right. Cheers, everybody. Thank you, Ken Nguyen. I appreciate it. And uh, you know what? Northeast Iowa, the mantra should be for AI company, for Railtown, our investment. You should point out that wouldn't it be nice for companies to be uh, software? What do they call it? Technology debt free. You know. Anyway, peace to everybody. Cheers.